Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Short Play, a series of quick tours of games I like on a variety of platforms, new and old. Today we're looking at Heretic, which was a 1994 release from Raven Software, published by id Software and GT Interactive. It's a first-person shooter with a more sort of fantasy medieval theme that runs on the Doom engine, and it was noteworthy at the time of its original release for adding inventory manipulation and the ability to look up and down to the basic Doom engine. It also introduced the concept of jibbing enemies into multiple independent parts if they were defeated with sufficient force and heat. Previously in Doom, you could splatter an enemy if you defeated them with enough damage, but it was still just a single object. In Heretic, they'd actually splatter into pieces that would fly all over the place. Now, while a lot of Heretic is very obviously based on Doom, with most of the weapons being direct analogues to those you'd find in Doom, there's a lot of interesting new features as well. There's interactive environments that include elements such as flowing water, and the inventory items include a variety of special effects such as more powerful secondary fire modes for weapons, and even the ability to turn enemies into chicken should you so desire. Heretic had a fairly mediocre reception on its original release due to its obvious similarities to Doom and the fact that technologically superior Quake was just around the corner. But in more recent years it's come to be looked at on rather more favourably, since it's much easier to take it on its own merits and divorce it from its original context. So let's do that. Let's go play Heretic.
Okay, here we are with Heretic, the Doom spin-off. I suppose it's not really a Doom spin-off really either, is it? It's just a game that uses the Doom engine. And a game I've come to be quite fond of. I didn't think a great deal of it back in the day, as a lot of people didn't. Because, well, Doom ripoff. But this game actually does a lot of really interesting things. And is genuinely worth playing. And in fact, I don't know if it's just the novelty value. I don't know if it's just the novelty value of not really having played this much back in the day, or if there genuinely is something special here. But you know, I've played Doom lots of times over the years, and it's great, and I love playing Doom, and I really liked it when they fixed the Switch version so it didn't run like complete ass. But this game, there's something genuinely special about this game. That I like a lot. So we're seeing from partway through the first episode here. So this would have been the shareware, part of the shareware release of the game back in the day. You've not come across shareware before, which is entirely possible these days. Shareware was a concept where developers would release parts of a game or a piece of software for free, so you could freely download it and copy it and distribute it online. But it would be limited in some way. In the case of shareware games, the most common way that it would be limited would be that you would get just the first episode of a game, they called it, which was like a collection of levels. And that first episode probably wouldn't contain all of the weapons in the game. It probably wouldn't contain all of the possible enemies that you could encounter. But it would be more than enough to give you a good taster of what the game was all about. And that was very much true with Heretic. So there are several weapons you could use. There are a bunch of different enemies you could run into. It was a complete game in its own right. But if you paid up for it, you got a bunch more episodes. And in fact, Heretic went one step further than most shareware games, because it had a registered release which got you, I think, 3 episodes in total, including the shareware one. But then it also had a physical retail release through GT Interactive as well, which added 2 whole new episodes to it that weren't available in the original shareware release. It's a bit like what they did with the Ultimate Doom, which added an additional episode on top of the 3 that you got with the standard registered version of Doom. But even more so. So the full version of Heretic, which you can now get very, very cheap over on GOG.com, and that's the version we're running here. Ouch. is an absolutely massive game as a result. So if you enjoy your 90s style first-person shooters, which means lots of high-speed action, lots of running around, the complete lack of existence of rooms above other rooms due to limitations of the engine, and sprite-based enemies, then you're going to be in heaven with this one. The fantasy twist in this one just makes it really interesting to me because, as I said in the intro, yes, most of these weapons are direct analogues to the ones in Doom. You can see that this magic wand I'm using right now is basically the pistol from Doom. But there's just something about the way they're presented and the visuals and the sound effects and everything, really. It just makes it a whole load of fun. Now, I do not know this level at all. So I have no idea where I'm going. So I'm running round and round and round in circles at the moment. There's some stairs. Have we been up here? Don't think we have we? A door! Door is usually a good sign. Hello? Oh. That wasn't very helpful. Not really all there is up here. Just a room and then some stairs back down pretty much adjacent to where we just came from. Ooh, who's shooting purple shit at me? You are! Leave me alone. The thing I find interesting about returning to games like Heretic and Doom from a modern perspective is that because the engines have such clear and such well-documented limitations on them, solving the levels is as much a case of understanding how the game works as anything else. Can I get over there? Maybe if I run. Hold on. There we go. That's a key! Wunderbar. Now we can actually make some progress. Could use some ammunition though, given that I'm out of ammunition with pretty much every single weapon I've got. Hopefully we will find something to use though. The yellow key is used over here, I believe. Oh, ammo. Ammo for the definitely not the shotgun. See? Definitely not the shotgun. It's clearly a crossbow. Any more ammo? More ammo would be lovely. Oh, much more ammo. And a green key. Wonderful. Get out of my face. Oh, I do not like those dudes. And they are... Oh! They're difficult to hit from a distance as well. I need to conserve my ammunition a bit more. Let's head back through here. The only thing I'm not a super big fan of in Heretic is the music. The music's kind of rubbish. But again, that wasn't hugely unusual for this kind of game. A lot of people kind of hold up a lot of Doom's pieces of music as absolute classics, but, you know, if you actually stop and analyse them, they're not actually that good. I mean, sure, Knee Deep in the Dead, Episode 1, Map 1, is absolutely iconic, and will always be iconic. But it's also one of about 300 different 12-bar blueses that you'll hear over the course of the entire Doom soundtrack. Heretic at least goes for something a little bit more creative. But I'm not 100% sure that the whole sort of atonal thing that it's got going on quite works for it. Here I am using an inventory item, in this case a quartz flask. Which is basically a healing potion. And these blue test tubes, those are smaller healing potions that you pick up and use immediately. So you can probably hear as well that there's a lot in common with Doom in terms of how it's presented and the kind of ambient noises and the way that you can tell when enemies are around purely from the sounds there are. Yeah, it's not attempting to hide the fact that it is based on Doom, and it's not a bad thing that it's based on Doom. It's one of many examples of a game that I don't think was appreciated nearly enough in its original time, but where now we can divorce it from that original context and the fact that everyone... Uh-oh. 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 Should have saved, shouldn't I? But I did not. Alright, well, let's do all that again. Yeah, because it's now much easier to divorce this from its original context and not feel the need to constantly compare it to other stuff that was around at the time or other stuff that was imminently releasing, like Quake. It's a lot easier to appreciate this on its own merits. Which ideally is always how you should handle anything anyway, but... you know, it's not always easy. Especially if, like, your primary source of information on video games is the games press of the era. Oh, so many horrible things trying to kill me. Right, I think we're doing a bit better on ammo this time at least. Now, I mentioned at the start that you can... excuse me, scratching my nose. I mentioned at the start that you can look up and down in this game. There's really very little need to. Because, again, of the nature of the Doom engine. There will never be a point where something will be directly above you. And the other thing is, if you look up and down, you'll notice some slight issues with distortion, which was always a problem with these, with sort of early first-person shooters that were trying to implement look up and look down functions. And the problem is that the engine's just not designed for it. The engine's not designed to be able to tilt like that. And so what happens is that the lines that are vertical normally when you're looking straight ahead, which should start converging when you look upwards, they stay vertical, and that causes everything to look distorted. Which is a minor problem if you're trying to get a convincing 3D effect. But like I say, it doesn't really matter too much because looking up and down in this game isn't super useful. It was largely a gimmick they put in there to say, look, we've added this. You can do this now. Without any real thought to whether or not it was something actually necessary. It wasn't until Quake itself where looking up and down actually became a bit more genuinely useful. Ah, sweet, sweet ammo. Open up. It also means that the control scheme in this takes a little bit of getting used to. By default, the original Heretic was designed to be played pretty much entirely with the keyboard. But the GOG.com release is set up in such a way that you can use the mouse and WASD controls much like you would in a modern first-person shooter, with the difference being that there's no mouse look. Because the up and down, looking up and down was implemented in such a sort of clunky way because it was new at the time, there's no mouse look. And so pushing forwards and backwards on the mouse in this game causes you to move forwards and backwards. And actually turning that behaviour off is a right pain in the ass, so I haven't bothered with it. You get used to it after a little while. It can occasionally be useful for precise movement as well, so it's not the end of the world for it to be there. Let's drink those potions again. And then we want to hit... Oh, hello. And we want to head up here. Hit the switch. I think we've come the other way from last time, haven't we? This feels backwards. Oh, yeah, this is just like a corner that you come into. Then we go down here, and there's about a zillion enemies, and I haven't saved again, so if you can just refrain from killing me for a minute. There we go. Should have done that long ago. I feel less bad about saves coming my way through this game than I do in certain other first-person shooters from the era, because you don't have a score, you don't have lives. It's not trying to be an arcade game in the same way as something like Wolfenstein or Blake Stone is. And so it's more clearly a game that's designed to be played in the long term. Get out of here, you horrible rogue bastard. Oh, there's two horrible rogue bastards. No, there's three of them. I'm running away. Run, run, run away. Help. Oh, no, 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 no. Tome of Power. I can't see. There's too much monster in my face. Help. Ow! Curses. Let's try that again, shall we? pick up some health, and then just be very careful. Maybe clear out these bastards first. Hello. Oops. Why won't you die? One died. That's good. So start. Yeah, you will notice with the crossbow the other reason that you don't need to look up and down in this game, which is the exceedingly generous auto-aim. As in, the only direction you're pointing that actually matters is rotation. The pitch doesn't matter at all. Because as long as you are pointing in the correct direction to hit an enemy, the vertical side of things will be taken care of for you. Oh, there are so many enemies! Thank you. Please. Please fall over. Thank you. At last. Uh-oh. I spy a robey bastard up there. I spy two robey bastards up there. Ow, ow, ow. Pain. Time to drink. Seriously, definitely not plasma gun. It's absolutely not the plasma gun, it's the dragon's claw, don't you know? This is the medium difficulty, by the way. Which is more than enough for me. Ooh, a blue key. There is a blue door over here. Can I be bothered to go searching for treasure? Or should I just leg it? Legging it is looking very tempting right about now. No! Well, a bit of healing would probably be a good idea now then. And let's just pray I don't run into those exact guys I was hoping I wouldn't run into. Ooh, health. Yes, please. More health? More health. Right. I don't feel I've got my head 100% around this level layout just yet. Well, I think I killed him with a lucky shot. There's still some more though. I can hear him. Oh, hello. What is in here? I wonder. I can't get in there. It's dark and scary down here, but there is ammunition. And there's also a teleporter. I'm gonna save. Just cause. You know. Seems like it might be a sensible thing to do. There's more teleporters. Loads of ammo up here. Ah! Flowing water and robey bastards. I would call them what they are called if I knew what they were called, but I don't, so I can't. Oh dear. Get. See, that was new and exciting. Being able to get caught in a current. And dragged along before you can enjoy your delicious bounty of crossbow bolts. Leap! Not far enough. Ow. 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 Everything hurts. But at least I've got 90 crossbow bolts. There's so many enemies on this level. And they don't respawn. So you know it is just that there's loads of enemies on this level. What's up here? Ooh, bad guy. Hello? I've been that way. I think we came up here earlier. Oh yes, we got stuck in there earlier. And died! 15 health. It's not a great position to be in. Could be worse. Could be worse. Could be better. But it could be worse. Alright, let's try the other way. Alright, more wand crystals and lots of ammo for the definitely not the plasma gun. Alright, this was worthwhile. Oh no, 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 no! Whew. 3 health. I'm having a good time. This game is fun, and I'm sorry I didn't play it much back in the day because it's really fun. I really don't have anything to heal, do I? No. What does this do? Well, it made everything go red. So that's good, I guess. I assume that does something useful. Never can tell, really. Where is that blue door? Oh, it's wearing off anyway. Maybe it's like Berserk in Doom or something like that. I remember one thing I wanted to mention with this game. If you look at the sort of GOG reviews and forums and comments for this game, you'll see an awful lot of people going, "Oh, you must play this game with Z-Doom," or whatever it's called, or "You must mod this to make it good." And I'm like, no. I'm playing this unmodded here. Yes, I may be able to have a technologically superior experience if I were to mod it. But I prefer it this way. I prefer it looking as it looked, as I remember it looking from back in the day. That's my personal preference. I'm not like looking down on anyone who enjoys modding these old games or anything like that. Why won't this open? Why won't you open? No, I'm not looking down on anyone who wants to mod games like this and make them look their absolute best. And yes, the results can be really cool, but I don't know. For me, the nostalgia for these games comes from running at 320 by 200, 256 colours. The nostalgia comes from that low resolution. It comes from struggling to make things out in such low resolution graphics. It's part of the fun. And I don't feel nearly as nostalgic about these games if I see them running in like full HD 1920 by 200 widescreen. 1920 by 200, that would be a ridiculous resolution, wouldn't it? 1920 by 1080. Aha! A switch! How do you get up on those windowsills? Oh, of course there's some horrible bastards in there. Of course there is. I guess you just jump off here. No, maybe not. I'm gonna... I do want the stuff. I do like the stuff. I want the stuff. Oh, there's a Healy thing there. Oops! Definitely want the Healy thing. I gotta get the Healy thing. That is the mouse controls letting me down slightly there. I happened to pull the mouse back slightly and fell off as as a result. So yeah, one mod you may want to look into is a mod that disables vertical mouse movement in DOSBox. Quartz flask. Give me 38 health. It's better than it was. Is there another one? There is not. Let's just finish the level. 89 of 104 enemies defeated. I told you there were a lot of enemies there. 26 out of... No, 10 out of 26 items. And on to the next level, the Citadel. So I think we'll leave that there for now, because I've taken you through... I've taken you through a whole level of Heretic there. And yeah, I can strongly recommend exploring this game for yourself, because it's really atmospheric, it's really fun, it's fast-paced, it's enjoyable, and it feels distinct from Doom. It might not initially look like it would feel distinct from Doom, but it really does. It really does feel like a completely different game to Doom after a little while. And like I say, we've just been looking at the shareware episode today. As you go further into the game, there's more and more different types of enemies. There's different weapons to acquire, more items to pick up, and all sorts of things. So yeah, it's a really cool game that will keep you busy for quite a long time. So it's about £4 on GOG.com, so you can't really go wrong with that, can you? Anyway, let's leave that there for now. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.